There are an estimated 47 million of these people in America right now. You probably know one from your Facebook feed. You're born as a cruise ship loyalist. Your mother goes into labor on dry land. You, sensing a profound metaphysical error, refuse to emerge. The doctors induce. You finally come out, not crying, but gesturing toward the horizon with a tiny accusatory finger. The nurse swaddles you. You kick the blanket off. It is not starched. It is not folded into a swan. You know from your first breath that a land-based existence is a temporary and deeply flawed condition. Your destiny is not on a map. It is on a deck plan. Your childhood is spent in a landlocked state like Nebraska. This is your origin story of suffering. Other kids learn to ride bikes. You learn to walk in a straight line behind a man with a flag. You practice queuing for the bathroom. You organize your toys by deck number. At age 8, you have your first real cruise. It is a 3-day trip to nowhere on a ship with a name like Carnival Ecstasy. You disembark. You look at your parents' car in the parking lot. You weep. You ask when you can go back to your room. You mean your interior stateroom on deck 7. You do not mean your bedroom at home. Your parents drive you back to Nebraska in silence. Your entire personality crystallizes around the buffet. At school, you bring a tray from home. You line up for the drinking fountain. You critique the Jell-O salad in the cafeteria. You tell the lunch lady her hairnet is not up to maritime safety standards. You get detention. You use the time to draft a 1-star review of the detention room on TripAdvisor. The review mentions poor sightlines, limited beverage service, and a complete lack of towel animals. The principal calls your parents. Your parents are confused. You are not. You have found your calling. You begin saving your allowance for shore excursions. And just like that, you reach the most insufferable period of being a cruise ship loyalist. You're a teenage cruise ship loyalist. Your friends go to house parties. You go on a solo voyage to the Bahamas during spring break. You are the only person under 60 on the ship. You befriend the activities director, a man named Clive. You learn the Macarena. You learn the electric slide. You learn a line dance that died in 1997. You believe this is peak culture. You post photos of the midnight buffet. The caption is just the ship's name and a gold emoji. You get 3 likes. 2 are from Clive. The 3rd is from a bot selling cruise deals. You try to explain your lifestyle to your prom date. You take her to Applebee's. You complain the centerpieces are exactly 4.5 inches off-center. You critique the service speed. You tell her about the superior flow of the main dining room on Royal Caribbean's Oasis-class ships. She excuses herself to use the restroom. She leaves through the kitchen door and calls her friend for a ride. You finish your appetizer sampler. You leave a detailed comment card. You rate the experience 2 out of 5 anchors. You consider this a productive evening. You drive home listening to steel drum music. You apply to college. Your S is not about overcoming adversity. It is a comparative analysis of the loyalty programs for Norwegian Cruise Line versus Princess Cruises. You are rejected from every school. You do not see this as a failure. You see it as liberation from the shackles of a stationary campus. You get a job at a call center. You spend your entire first paycheck on a 7-day Western Caribbean itinerary. You book an interior guarantee. You pray for an upgrade. You do not get one. You spend a week in a windowless box. You describe it as cozy. You are home. You call it your studio apartment at sea. And then you become an adult with the cruise loyalist genes in full bloom. You work remotely from the ship's Wi-Fi. Your out-of-office reply says at sea responses may be delayed. You are in international waters. You feel powerful. You attend a mandatory team Zoom meeting. Your background is a generic beach. A colleague asks if you're on vacation. You say no. You say you are optimizing for experiential living. Your manager mutes you. You do not notice. You are too busy calculating your onboard credit per diem. You are living the dream. The dream is mostly about free laundry. You try online dating. Your Hinge prompt is looking for a co-captain to navigate the high seas of life, and also the actual high seas. I have diamond status. Your first date asks if you've seen the movie Titanic. You lecture her for 47 minutes on the maritime safety improvements enacted since 1912. You cite specific SOLAS amendments. You mention the improved subdivision of watertight compartments. She excuses herself. You finish your drink. You log into the ship's app and give her profile a 1-star passenger rating. You note poor conversational buoyancy. Your entire social life is the cruise critic forums. You know other users by their loyalty tier and preferred cabin category. You get into flame war with someone named Legs1994 over the quality of the soft serve machine on deck 14. You write a 1,200-word post. You include photographic evidence of inconsistent swirl patterns. The moderators lock the thread. You feel a profound sense of loss. You book another cruise to cope. You refer to this as taking a mental health cruise. Subscribe so you can keep crying about people you've definitely met. New roast every Tuesday. You plan a family reunion. You insist it must be at sea. Your relatives agree, thinking it will be fun. You hand out a printed daily itinerary at the airport shuttle. It includes mandatory group photos at 6:15 p.m. sharp. Your uncle misses the photo because he was at the bar. You publicly shame him at dinner. You say he has thrown off the entire vibe of the voyage. Your cousin asks what vibe. You say the vibe of structured leisure. No one speaks to you for the remaining 5 days. You consider this a victory. You have optimized the experience. You win a plastic ship on a stick for trivia. You reach Peak Loyalist. You own branded robe. You own towels with ship logos. You own a custom lanyard that holds your room key, your loyalty card, and a tiny flashlight for reading daily planners in dark theaters. You refer to your house as your home port. You refer to your car as your tender. You refer to your grocery store as the provisioning station. Your neighbor asks to borrow a cup of sugar. You ask if he has completed his pre-boarding health questionnaire. He stops asking you for things. Comment anchor below if you've ever met someone like this. We know you have. Your entire financial planning revolves around cruise points. You have a spreadsheet that calculates the exact dollar value of a free bottle of champagne at the captain's cocktail party. You forgo a 401k match to book a back-to-back-to-back sailing through the Panama Canal. Your financial advisor quits. You hire a travel agent instead. You call her your chief of itinerary. She blocks your number after the 7th daily email about pillow chocolate placement. You are undeterred. You are sailing toward your destiny. You buy stock in the cruise line. You lose money. You do not care. It is a symbolic gesture. You buy a timeshare, not on land, a timeshare on a cruise ship. It is called a fractional ship ownership program. It is a scam. You know it is a scam. You do not care. You now legally own 1/10,000th of a stateroom on a vessel that will be scrapped in 2 years. You frame the certificate. You bring it to your high school reunion. You talk about asset diversification. An old classmate who works in finance tries to explain depreciation. You explain the intangible value of priority tender tickets. He walks away. You feel superior. You have ascended. You develop a secondary identity as a port expert. You have never been to Naples, but you can tell someone the 3 best places within a 5-minute walk of the dock to buy a knockoff handbag. You write Yelp reviews for restaurants in Cozumel you visited once for 45 minutes in 2015. You update them annually. You mention if the salsa has got milder. You warn about aggressive taxi drivers. You sign these reviews, a frequent sailor. You believe you are providing a vital public service. The restaurant owners have no idea who you are. Years pass, you are 34. Your knees begin to complain about the stairs between deck 5 and the Lido buffet. This is your first sign of mortality. You ignore it. You purchase a collapsible walking stick with a cruise line logo on the handle. You use it not for walking, but for pointing at things on the buffet line you wish to have served. You develop a strong opinion about the firmness of the melon cubes. You express this opinion to the head chef. The head chef is a man from Mumbai. He has never heard of you. He does not care about your melon feedback. You are 47. You achieve pinnacle zenith, or whatever the top tier is called. The ceremony involves a plastic pin and a photograph with a captain who is thinking about his mortgage. You frame the photo. You hang it in your living room, which you have decorated to resemble a ship's atrium. Your friends stop visiting. They say it feels like they never left the port. You take this as the highest compliment. You live for the moment the house sways slightly in high wind. You call it getting your sea legs back. You install a foghorn doorbell. The decline is gradual. One day you realize you have spent more cumulative nights in an interior cabin than in any apartment you've ever rented. You develop a persistent cough you call the AC drip. Your doctor, a land-based professional, suggests you try a vacation in the mountains. You look at him as if he has suggested you vacation on the surface of the sun. You stop seeing that doctor. You find a new one whose office has a nautical theme. His diploma is from a questionable institution. You do not care. He understands you. He prescribes more sea air. You start a blog. It is called The Salty Seabird. You post twice a year. The posts are 3,000 words long. They detail the subtle differences in muster drill procedures between cruise lines. You get 17 visitors per month. 12 are bots. The other 5 are people you emailed the link to directly. You monetize the blog with a single ad for cruise insurance. You make $0. You consider this a successful media empire. You print business cards. You hand them to people at the supermarket checkout. The cashier throws yours away. Your final voyage is not dramatic. There is no iceberg. There is just a minor norovirus outbreak. You are unaffected. You have built an immunity. You sit in your favorite deck chair watching the wake. You close your eyes. You do not wake up. They find you there, a half-finished Sudoku from the daily planner on your lap. Your final request in your will is to have your ashes scattered at a specific coordinate in the Caribbean where you once saw a particularly nice sunset. The ship charges a $200 ceremony fee. Your estate pays it. It is what you would have wanted. Your legacy is a 1-star review you left for a port shuttle bus company 6 years ago. The review complains about the step height being inconsistent with maritime accessibility standards. It is still the top result when you Google the company. People still find it helpful. This is your monument, a digital cairn of complaint guiding future travelers toward your singular, uncompromising vision of correct vacation procedure. Your name is forgot. Your loyalty number is deactivated. Your review lives on. Tag someone whose entire personality is a hobby. We're watching. The buffet line never ends. All jokes aside, these are exaggerations, internet caricatures born on social media and spread like wildfire. Yes, the behavior of deriving intense identity from a commercial leisure activity is real, but turning cruise ship loyalist into a universal punchline reduces real people to a single stereotype. Most people who enjoy cruising are just folks looking for a predictable, all-inclusive way to see new places and relax, often forming genuine friendships with crew and fellow passengers along the way. Behind every meme is a real person doing their best, often finding community and simple pleasure in a ritual that makes them happy. So laugh at the absurdity, but remember that judging someone for how they find joy says more about you than it does about their towel animal collection.